Hello, good afternoon. It's May 1st. And I do not know why I've never had this conversation with myself until like today, which I think is kind of crazy. Here's the thing. If you practice non-resistance, if you practice law of attraction, if you listen to Abraham Hicks, if you have a concept of pivoting your attention to solutions or feeling better, getting yourself out of a mindset so you don't bring in more of what you actually don't want, right? Can be extremely difficult if you are in the throes of PMS. And for those of you who experience it, it never occurred to me to find out what happens. Look at me. I'm like, been laying around a lot. So, facts. All right. I am 50. I don't have PMS that bad anymore. But when I was young, I had it extremely bad. I really only felt good about 1 week a month for a very long time. I don't even know. From the beginning of my period, I don't know. For a very, very terrifyingly long time, I felt terrible. And it hasn't happened in a while, and I don't know if it's probably a function of age, having a hysterectomy, being sober, taking better care of myself. That said, on Friday, I got hit with some hormone avalanche. And you may or may not know that I work in a middle school. That's hormone land. Being in school in any capacity right now is a fucking nightmare, if I'm being perfectly honest. Middle schools are already difficult, so a lot is going on, right? Just a lot going on around me, and I haven't experienced this level of PMS in years, maybe since the entire time I've been sober. So honestly, I didn't really think it was that. I thought it was everything else. School, work, same place. So it didn't really occur to me until a couple of minutes ago. Oh, well, let me back up. While I was having this fit, I'll call it a PMS fit, I was also mad because I felt like I was fucking up my work, fucking up the work that I've done. Like it just feels impossible to make that shift, to shift that perspective. And I was real mad at myself about that. And so now that I'm out of it, and I finally went, oh, I've never even looked up Abraham Hicks and PMS or anything like that. And to be honest, for the first time, I wasn't really satisfied with the answers of the videos I was getting, that were coming up. But that gave me pause to think about what my answer is to it, which is that what I did realize in the course of laying down outside on the porch in the sun and crying and napping, and laying down on this couch and crying and napping, and laying in the bed and crying and napping, was that I was really beating myself up about not being able to shift and not being able to feel better. And how is it that I always end up here, which isn't even true. It might have been true at one point, but it's not true now. But there's some very old, very real thoughts on that, that tape that runs that we have. Nothing I do matters. Nothing makes a difference. It doesn't matter how much work I do. I always end up back here. And that makes it feel worse, right? Because it feels real and it feels true, and it almost like puts those hormones on fire and makes it worse, right? So now that I'm out on the other side, I can say, okay, to be fair, I didn't do anything wrong. Hormones are not my fault. I did flip out at school a little bit, but I was also very honest about it. And it's rectifiable. It is. But key point being to not make that situation in charge of the rest of everything, right? Yes, I felt like garbage. Yes, I felt like my body was being taken over by angry hormone monsters. But also, yes, I did what I had to do to keep myself safe, not make any big decisions in regard to it, which I think is the key, is to not... This is my answer. How do you deal with if you are a person who practices law of attraction or non-resistance and you're in this situation that seems literally impossible and completely out of control, out of your control? My response to that at this time is acknowledge all of that. Be completely honest with yourself about all of that. Write it all out if you have to, or just, pay attention to what you're thinking and recognize that you're not going to do anything about that thought, just having that thought. Maybe you've had that thought for a long time and you're going to go, okay, later when I feel better, I'm going to come back to this. We're going to put a pin in this, most of it. Put a pin in all of it. Go take a nap, eat some chips, take a bath, eat an edible, take a walk. Do what you got to do to not do something irrevocable in regard to how you're feeling. And that is what I think is the key. To not take it to that place that it doesn't need to go, whatever that is. To recognize that part of this experience is the bringing up of unhealed trauma, bringing up of things that haven't been said, that you, once you're out, maybe you could go, okay, I need to tell so-and-so this thing. I need to tell so-and-so this thing. It is clearly in my body and it's hanging out, and that's not great, because in that scenario, it's still a part of your life, right? That is still at play. So to recognize that and do something about it. So we can go back to, okay, I'm going to deal with my shit. I learned to have some stuff to deal with. That's what this was. I am grateful that at my job I can go in and go, hey, I am totally losing my shit and I need to leave. And they go, yep, have a good night. That's very helpful, and not many places would do that, right? So I'm grateful for that. So it's not all lost. Not all is lost when we are in raging hormone PMS land. Sorry, my neighbor's doing jumping jacks. I don't know what he's doing. Be gentle with yourself. Love yourself. Take lots of naps. Drink water. Make sure to eat. Cry if you have to. But also pay attention to the thoughts that you're having and come back to them when you feel better. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great week. Okay.